Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Bargain Bin, a show all about speed running games under $20. I'm Midnight Vesper, your host, and I'm going to be here for the show. That was weirdly phrased, and I'm sorry. If you're new to the Bargain Bin, here's how this mostly works. For current/digital games, we'll be using digital stores like Steam, GOG, itch.io, Ubisoft, Epic, etc. to look at the list/MSRP price. For retro games, we're going to be using a various amount of retro rating websites to find the average the average loose price of the game. We do not count any sales or discounts as they vary of the time of purchase. Couple announcements before we go any further. Awesome Games Done Quick 2022 online game and volunteer submissions are open now until October 3rd. If you're looking to help out with the event from the comfort of your own home, you can go to gamesdonequick.com, and don't forget you can submit there as well. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to join us over at twitch.tv/gamesdonequick. Check out our live shows starting most nights at around 7 p.m. Eastern. With that being said, we will be shifting times and locations for some of the GDQ Hotfix shows. All will be here, just in different days possible, different times. Just be sure to check out gamesdonequick.com/hotfix for more information. On today's show, we're going to be continuing our love of Disney games. We showcased some Disney games earlier in the Bargain Bin. We're going to have episode 2 now with 2 fantastic speed games. First, of course, we're traveling to Duckburg for the fantastic Ducktales Remastered speedrun. And I feel like I have to say a woo-woo every time I say Ducktales. And then we're going to go help our robotic friend Walle-E no longer feel lonely. We have 2 games today that'll warm your heart, that'll make you feel nice and smiley right before the spooky season of October kicks in. And of course, with spooky season, don't forget we have speedruns from the crypt coming up right after our show at 10 p.m. Eastern. So please stay tuned for that. But with all that being said, let's go ahead and kick things off and toss it on over to Rika, our first runner of the evening. How are you?
I am doing okay. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I love watching these type of runs.
I'm just looking at chat because they're reciting the lyrics to the song, and I love it.
Yeah, it's great.
But my name is Rika Suave. I will be running Ducktales Remastered 80% on easy difficulty. And my commentator, if you introduce yourself, please.
Hey, everybody. I am Proto_Nerd, Proto_Nerd, I should say. So I'm here mostly for commentary, a good time, and a little bit of support for Rika Suave there. She is my wife.
And it looks like from the poll earlier, it looks as though that 8-bit won in terms of music.
Yes.
Yep.
So whenever you all are ready.
Okay, time will start after I hit the difficulty. So 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah, time starts as soon as she selects the difficulty. So she's starting right off here, heading to the money bin. This is the kind of tutorial stage. Not a whole lot here. She's just doing a little bit of the basic movement tech where she pogos a lot because pogoing is just a little bit faster than plain walking. So kind of helps the stage go a little bit faster. One thing that I've actually enjoyed about this game, like watching her speedrun it, is there's not a whole lot of like heavy glitches. It's mostly movement tech. So just learning how to get through the stages quickly, how to move faster, and like when's the best time to do things. Learning to skip things. She took a little bit of damage there from a hammer bonking her, you know. Yeah, so it's not a super glitch heavy run. So this is one of those games where if you want to learn a game that's not too difficult to like do tricks, it's really good. You see right here, she's getting the first like real power up, the M coin, which is basically like the star from Mario or the little shine thing from Sonic where she's just invincible for a few seconds. She can use that to just bypass a lot of things. Coming into the first little boss fight here against some Beagle Boys. She's got to, the Beagle Boy will throw something at her. She's got to wait till he's under the safe. She hits the item up at the safe, knocks it down, and hits him. It's just kind of real timing. As soon as it hits him, as soon as the safe hits him, it'll knock his helmet off, and then she just pogos on him just instantly. And she's got to hit him quite a few times here. Be able to now she can start doing all the stage select.
Himalayas. For a second, I forgot which place I go to first.
Yeah. Yep. So she goes to Himalayas first. In this stage, she has to collect the 3 airplane pieces. Okay. All the pieces are kind of RNG heavy, so they're gonna be scattered. They're in random places, right?
The bunnies, the only RNG heavy thing we have to worry about is the airplane.
Okay. Yeah, she runs this game. I don't. I only watch her and cheer her on and have notes. I speedrun other games sometimes. So, while she's traversing through the stage, going through the caves and everything, one thing I like to do on my channel, and I've already gotten approval from Vesper, is I like to ask a question of the day, where I ask a question usually related to whatever game I'm playing for the day or something like that. Today's question is, what is your favorite DuckTales tune? What is your favorite DuckTales tune? Rika, let's get your input. What's your favorite?
Mount Vesuvius.
Okay, Mount Vesuvius is good. Me personally, mine's the moon. I think a lot of people really dig the moon. There, she rescued the little cave dude. What's his name? I can never remember. Yeah.
The moon is such a classic theme, though. I mean, you really think about it.
It is. Everyone knows the moon theme. So she does have to backtrack for something real quick, and then she takes that intentional death to get back to this point, and then has to let this guy go and break through all the blocks. So we're starting to see the responses to the question of the day in chat here, and it's pretty overwhelming that it's the moon. So the moon's a real banger here.
That was not meant to happen, but sure. Yeah, I missed it both times. Normally with the bunnies, if you time your pogo sticks, you could get a little boost up on the ladder. Clearly, I missed it both times.
It's fine. It gives you bounce on the bunnies and it boosts you up into the air, so you can grab onto the rope higher up, saving a little bit of climbing time. It's only like it's a very minor time loss if you don't get it, but it helps. Oh, we see someone else there with Mount Vesuvius for their favorite theme as well. You know,
I saw a lot of Transylvania as well.
Yeah, this whole game is just full of amazing tracks. Just banger after banger.
Yeah.
Which one's your favorite, Vesper?
I'd have to go with Transylvania. I love
Transylvania?
Moon. Moon is probably top tier, but after that would probably be Transylvania at a very, very close second. Since you said Moon, I'm going to go and also say Transylvania.
All right. Hey, fair enough. So
Yeah.
here's another boss fight.
One.
So he'll throw a bomb. She knocks it back at his plane, and then he'll start launching Beagle Boys, and she's got to kill all the Beagle Boys so that until he throws another bomb. It's gonna be a random amount of Beagle Boys that'll be It can be a random amount of Bingo Boys,
3.
and this is the RNG part that we were talking about earlier.
Decent RNG. I'll take it.
Yeah, not too bad. So she had that first boss fight. Then now here's the actual boss fight of the level.
Okay, let's wait for the rock to fall. Okay.
So she's just got to dodge the falling ice boulders until that rock falls. And then wait until he gets underneath one of the ice cubes, knock the rock up to it. And then that'll bury him in the sand so she can pogo on his head. Bob and weave among some... So the hitboxes for the ice block is pretty forgiving. So that's a good question asked in chat there. I don't know why she does this stage first.
I like to get the airplane done and over with first.
Because it's so RNG heavy, yes. So she can tell which ice block she's gonna need to need the boss to be under based on where the cube which cube he needs to be under based on where that rock hits. So the closer if it's close to her, that's the middle one. If it's a little farther, then it's gonna be the far block from her.
Yo, Thunder, I don't know that glitch, my dude. Like, I know what you're talking about, but I don't know how to pull it off.
Yeah. So it takes a few hits in the first half where it's got the 3 ice blocks, and then a couple more hits in the second half where it's just a single ice block. You know, boss down, moves on to goes back to the money bin. Skips a few cutscenes here, selects the next stage, and she goes to the African mines.
All right, no minigame. So, real quick, the minigames are bad. They kill a few seconds. All you need to do is walk off the cloud if you do get it. But usually, we do not like the minigames in Ducktales Remastered.
Yeah, they might be fun casually, but they're a time killer. Also, sorry about that. That was me opening a Dr. Pepper. That's my signature on stream. Is like I almost never don't have a Dr. Pepper. I'm trying to open it quietly. One good thing about this is even though like the cutscenes are really well animated and they're beautiful to watch, we're trying to go faster, so we got to skip them all.
The Yeti from that boss fight was beautifully just designed.
Yeah, like it's
not just the animation, but all of it.
So she's doing the mind skip here. So she basically has to get those rocks that you can see, the cracked rocks you can see on the left side of the screen into view. Then she has to jump to the right and then back onto the ledge, and that'll cause those
Oh no.
that'll cause the blocks to despawn. And she basically has to keep doing this until enough despawn that she can fall down or go down the hole that's underneath them.
This will take a while, so if you have any reminders, you can feel free to do so.
Yeah, this is probably one of the most time-consuming parts of the runs. Like, I've seen her practice this for like 20 minutes. It's not gonna take 20 minutes, but I've seen her practice it like over and over again, and it.
Yeah. So, in the meantime, I can say that the GDQ Hotfix kind of has a new YouTube channel. It's called the GDQ Sum of Best Segments. It's actually now launched on YouTube. It's a highlight channel with regular videos like our main YouTube channel, but with small highlight reels for all of the main events as well as our hotfix. You can just go to YouTube and search for GDQ Sum of Best Segments to check out the best segments of all of our shows and our mainline events.
Yeah, this is... Yeah, if you can practice it 500 times, but as soon as you go live, it's like, oh, well, nope, that trick's not going to work now. It's like,
Okay.
As you can see, like some of them are despawning, and then she'll try another jump, and they'll be back. So she's basically doing this over and over again until the right ones despawn. So it's just kind of
Got
pain
it.
in the. There you go.
Sorry, earphone users. I did not mean to go that loud, but we got it.
Yeah, because
Nice,
not
nice.
doing that takes a lot longer. So she climbs down, climbs back up, and that puts her like above the level. So she's able to like pogo her way. There we go, and it glitches her all the way to the bottom of the mines. This is really one of the only huge glitches in the game. You know, how long did it take you to actually learn that, Rika?
I'm still learning it, honestly. There is no time limit there. You will still learn that mind skip.
That felt like a almost blink it and you'll miss it glitch there.
Yeah. It is like you do need to be watching. Here she's doing the riding the mine carts, and for most of this you just duck and go under everything. Get to the very end, and yeah. Gonna continue traveling on through the mines. So there are some damage skips that she'll take, but not too many are needed. Yeah, this game is actually pretty well designed. That it's very glitch resistant. So a lot more pogoing here, skipping over the Beagle Boys, jumping on the little water guys.
I do enjoy this, just the amount of mechanics that go into a run like this.
Yeah.
It's like almost every single frame has a point of reference to the type of run like this.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I enjoy about this game. Okay, so we've got the boss of the mines here. She just got to bounce on him as soon as he's pops out of his ball. Dodging some rocks here. So there are a couple of different notes, like music notes that you can see that will kind of determine what she has to dodge.
That's fine.
So there are purple notes and there are brown notes. The purple notes that you just saw cause the ball stampede that she has to dodge. There's really not a good way to dodge the whole thing and not take damage. So right there, those are the kind of brownish, yellowish notes. That causes rocks to fall. Rocks fall, you die. D&D reference, anyone? So she just has to keep dodging each one based on the notes. He jumps in the background, plays more, ball stampede again. Almost. There you go. So as soon as he pops out, she hits him again, stage clear, grab the gem. That was a That wasn't too bad of a fight though. So here,
Amazon.
going on to the next stage, the Amazon.
This is the last semi-hard level before we get to the easy ones, which is why I get them done and over with first.
Yeah, since there's no required order for the levels, you just have to do them all. She does the kind of more RNG heavy levels first, get them out of the way. And in here, she is going around trying to collect these 8 gems. They are in the large treasure chests, so that makes it easier. Makes it easier so you know which ones, which treasure chests you need to get. Luckily, pogoing, you can pogo on the those spike vines and not take damage. Which that's one thing I always like when the game, it'll implement something that you need to dodge, but then give you a way to dodge it. See there, she's grabbing another M coin, go invisible, so she can just straight run across all the spikes without having to worry and pogo a whole lot and everything. The M coins also give you a faster run speed, so she runs faster naturally. Just gotta go fast.
Why does the snake remind me so much of Disney's Robin Hood?
I don't know.
That is a good point, though.
Yeah.
Someone in chat said it. I was about to say it as well, that the animation of the spiders also looked like something I'd seen in Cuphead.
Yeah. I think it kind of has something to do... Actually, I don't know. I was going to say something about old animation, but I don't know.
This is also a Disney game, so maybe there's a correlation there.
Yeah. Disney using some of its old animation tactics to...
I'm sorry. Maniac ascended the comment. Good. That's good.
That's funny.
So basically here, just wait. You can't skip it. You'll eventually get there.
Yeah, the helicopter ride, you just climb to the top and just wait. It's almost like an auto-scroller that doesn't involve any kind of movement. She does a quick pogo there to help get her higher up on the ropes, or up on the rope to skip climbing a little bit. You gotta be fast on those blocks because they disappear. Grabbing the M coin for speed, invincibility. Yeah, once these blocks start falling, even the ones on the bottom start falling, so it doesn't matter if you jump over them, they're just gonna keep falling.
All right, good. We avoided the plant. All right, they were nice too.
Yeah, so the plant and the snakes, they like to attack very quick. So skipping them and not getting damaged is rather difficult at times. They attack or they stick their necks up like that, and it just makes it difficult to actually,
Okay, damage, but that's fine.
Yeah, makes it difficult to get past them. So the head of this statue here, she's just got to bounce on it. As soon as it stops blinking, she can damage it. And then the walls or the floor or ceiling will start to try and crush her. It will either go from bottom to top, top to bottom, right to left, left to right, and all she has to do is wherever it starts, she has to go to the opposite side in order to get into the safe spot. Dodge a couple of sets of blocks, and until the boss's head drops down. Nail it a couple more times. Oh, there we go.
I need that ice cream. There it is.
Sorry, our son was trying to distract her, so she almost got squished. Okay. On these later stages, instead of going straight left and right, or whatever, it can do all of them at once. Like you see it shaking there, it shakes all the ones that are gonna drop, and then leaves one blank spot in the center. And she just has to get to the one that's not shaking, stand there, wait for them to try and crush her, and go back.
There we go. So now we're on the easy
still think-
stages.
I still say that they did a great job with this game. It definitely has that like NES feel to it.
Yeah, definitely. And they got some of the voice actors from the original cartoon, which I think was a really nice touch. Because this is the last time we'll hear Alan Young as Scrooge.
Someone in chat was saying that, and I was trying to figure out about that.
Sorry, you guys, I had to take off for a second. But I'm back.
There's a treasure nearby. I can smell it.
Yeah, that was a close call. Not gonna lie, Thunder.
So she's only got a couple of levels left here. About halfway through the game. Transylvania, where she's got to go through and save her nephews.
Yeah, this was Alan Young's final performance. Anyway, a few months after this game was released, he died of natural illness, if I remember right.
Yeah.
So we are taking the quick way. Let's walk across.
Yeah, just take a quick damage boost right there, so that she can easily get through. Fight the ghost here, bounce on the Beagle Boy in a ghost costume, I should say. 3 hits, knock the costume off, save nephew. I know their names. I never remember which one's which color. It's Huey, Dewey, and Louie, I know that. But which one is the red one?
Huey, I believe, is the red one.
You could be right. I honestly don't know. And here, another Beagle Boy fight, but this one has an actual ghost in the background that she just has to dodge. But those Beagle Boy boss fights are super easy. She climbs the chain there, gets the M coin so she can run fast, get a little bit of invincibility. She doesn't need the invincibility per se, but you know, it makes her go much faster, so it helps. She hits the iron ball there, knocks it through 2 of the zombie ducks. Goes up top here, enters the mirror, and we got another little minecart section.
I appreciate how the zombie ducks do a little dance as their animation.
Yeah. Really good. So she popped her head out there, not necessarily for anything specific other than that ice cream at the end to give her a small heal, because she didn't need a duck for a little bit, but she had taken some damage boosts, and it's a free heal basically. She doesn't have to go out of the way, she doesn't have to jump, doesn't have to go slow. She just has to sit in the minecart and it'll heal her. That's 2 ghosts here. 3rd hit, and that's the nephew saved 3 times, or the 3rd nephew saved.
David Tennant is truly great. That is a fact.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Another minecart section. Okay. Oh, Juco stream with the great explanation on the three nephews. Huey, red like a red hue. Dewey, blue, because blue like water dew. And Louie, green. He said green like money, but I don't get what that's trying to reference.
Nope, I don't get that either.
Hi, Mrs. Beakley.
Oh, Zero
Hi,
names
Mrs.
ZX.
Beakley.
Ms. Beakley showing up with all the treats for the massive heals. Zero names ZX. Luigi, green. So hit that statue a couple times so that you can get through it. Got a damage boost through that guy. Bounce over a couple more. Take the secret here so you can get to this mirror. Oh, well, tried to duck under that ghost. Didn't quite work right.
That's fine. Magica
yeah.
will give us heals here.
Yep, and here we've got the boss fight. Many probably recognize Magica Dispel. First little bit, you're just dodging some attacks. So she does red laser beams from the top that will turn into little fire pillars, or from the side, and then you get 5 blocks that you've got to bounce across them while the beams disappear. And then she'll drop down, just bounce on her a couple times, or a few times. You get that spinning circle of mirrors, and just keep bouncing on the mirrors until you hit the one that she's in, and then jump over and bounce on her. As you progress through the fight, more and more fire beams will disappear. So here we're up to 2 levels of beams for the horizontal.
Shout out to Thundertall in the chat for this idea. So he wanted to test out whether or not it would go faster if you did the damage boost on Magica. And turns out it does go a little faster, so thanks, Thunder.
Yeah. Oh, first mirror on that one. That was a good one. That was a very good cycle.
Yeah.
So when she goes into the like vulture form, you just gotta wait for her to swoop down at you and nail her.
Okay. Enjoy the Mew music while it lasts because this is the quickest stage to go through.
Yeah, this is a very short stage. It's yeah.
I feel like chat's just all about the music now.
Yeah. If you have any banger emotes in chat, let's get those going. You know.
Very good M coin, that's fine.
Taking another M coin speed booster. Trying to dodge all these space squids and robo ducks.
Easiest skip ever. There you go. If you kill the alien by accident, you can still jump in the middle and it should still work, but I keep it alive as a visual on when to make the jump.
Yeah, it despawns an obstacle over there and allows her to just go down. So I think this song even though there are other really good songs, like you like the Transylvania theme, Vesper, this
Yeah.
is probably one of the highest rated DuckTales songs. Like, just it's pretty universal that everyone likes this, you know. But this whole game is full of awesome music. Here we've got the rat fight. Not too hard. Bounce on him 3 times. He turns green, and then it's dodge. He'll appear either on the ground or up on the ledge, and then you just have to dodge timing him. You just have to look at which way he's facing. He does get a little bit of invincibility, so you can't keep bouncing on repeatedly. Right there, you saw her do a quick hit where she bounced on him right as he became vulnerable, which helped basically get a second hit in there with almost unnoticed. So
Ouch, that's fun.
yeah, not a whole lot to this. Just keep bouncing on the rat, dodging him while he's green, until eventually he goes away. Yeah, you know when the green phase is over, because he will appear in the top center of the screen and drop down, and then immediately turn back from green.
Is that RNG based or is it more pattern based?
I feel like it's more RNG and pattern. Usually when you do like a fresh run of this, sometimes the RNG with the bosses and what they do changes. So sometimes it is, sometimes it doesn't.
So we're heading into the final stage here, Mount Vesuvius. Another absolute banger of a track. Yeah. So in this stage, there are some giant rock balls that she has to avoid. They are instant KO. They're not damaged. They're not something you can take damage from. They just instant kill you. Taking a little bit of damage boost to just quickly walk across the wall, across the spikes there.
Okay.
It could be dangerous, McDuck. You go first.
So, this
Oh,
part,
first try. Okay.
yeah, this part can be a little tricky because you have to time your jumps to
Hurry up, I'm growing old. Just not as old as you.
actually hit all those guys and get across. She managed to make it across first try. I know that it's not easy. So, makes that chest spawn, goes back, hits the rock up, and causes that M coin to appear, giving her this nice little speed boost for a little while.
Putting that thing, Scroogey.
Dang it, okay. I know there's ice cream up ahead, so
Yeah,
Okay,
these
be careful.
falling rocks are one-hit KO. So, gotta wait here for this guy. Bounce on it.
Onward and upward.
How hard is it to learn that bounce trick in terms of the run? Because it seems to be used so much throughout it.
Pogo.
Pogo, yeah.
I'm helping like you asked. Quit
I
complaining.
think it depends on how long you've been playing and speedrunning it. Personally, I don't think there's like an actual clear answer with trying to perfect those bounces.
It's one of those things like it's easy to learn, difficult to master. Where anyone can learn it and be able to implement it in their own run, but being able to master it and get very good at it can be, a little difficult to do. More lava duck bounces.
Never healed.
Yeah, some easy free heals in the minecart.
We're almost at the final boss fight.
That flew by.
Yeah. That's one good thing about this game is even though it's not really like glitch heavy, it's still pretty fast for runs. I mean,
Washed up has-beens first.
she's at what 37 minutes almost.
Yeah.
Here's another fight with Magica.
Okay, fine. I won't go up there. If you go up there, it might go a little faster, but he's not gonna let me.
Oh, yeah, he's being a little rude. She is only one hit though, so you have to be very careful for the rest of this fight. It's not that big a deal if she takes a death. It's just a little bit of a time loss.
Yeah, I set the estimate to 40 minutes, so would prefer it if I didn't die.
Yeah.
You got this.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So this part right here, like you can see there, it's a bunch of bats appear on screen. You'll have one free spot. Oh, she got hit. Okay.
Oh.
It just restarts the fight. It's not a huge time loss, but especially because she wasn't too far in. But
Let's try
It just
again.
shows what happens.
yeah, she took a few too many hits on the giant head portion. It happens. It's RNG on which phases you get, and it just didn't want to let her bounce on top of his beak. But you see all the bats, they appear, and then you'll have one free spot that's just big enough. You know, that's one thing that video game bosses never learn. If you're gonna fill an entire screen with something dangerous, don't leave us a hero-sized gap.
I
Right?
feel like that's a flaw. I feel like that's just a flaw when it comes to final bosses.
Yeah.
Good for us. Good for
Oh,
us.
yeah.
But
So here, the dragon phase, a lot of people will try and just like randomly bounce around and to dodge the fire. If you stand all the way to one side, let the fire, and then as the fireball's coming, you just scoot slightly out of the way, and just basically slowly move to get the fireballs to only fill a portion of the screen. You won't even need half the screen, as you saw.
I thoroughly enjoyed the giant duck.
It is entertaining, and if you actually look at it, you can see like each part is animated slightly differently to give it that like large 3D effect.
Ah, shit. Okay. I completely missed. Come on. Got it. So sometimes, if you can get enough momentum on that first bat, you could just completely ignore the second one and hit him.
Yeah, it's a little tricky, and probably the first few times people do the fight, it'll be people will use both bats. Oh, thankfully this isn't mercy kill though.
Dang it. Yeah, this is gonna go over the estimate.
That's fine.
Not by much. There she go. Good momentum on that one. And you can tell if you're paying very close attention to the bag that Magica throws into the pot, you can tell which in-between phase you're getting, whether it's the wall of bats, the giant duck head, or the dragon. A green bag, you get the green dragon. A red bag, you get the bunch of red bats. And then just the kind of tannish light brown one gives you the giant head. And there she goes, beating that boss, and now she's on the escape sequence. So here she's just racing against Magica carrying up what's his name?
Glomgold.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
here we go.
So this part it can be a little stressful because the chains are falling.
Okay, time is coming up. Time.
GG.
A
Okay.
A little over, but we got it.
Yeah, and what Thunder
Not
said
bad.
about the bags, the red bag, it's the worst one to see because it's the slowest. But GG didn't go too far over estimate.
Failure to give Glomgold a lift home, Mr. McD.
That's perfectly fine.
41-46. Good run.
Not bad.
I'll
Yeah.
put it on your bill, Flint.
Any shout-outs you all would
Pay
like
me
to have
back
real
in,
fast?
Say 3 to 5.
If you would like to
Of course.
speedrun this for yourself, feel free to give it a try. Just expect to be practicing the mind skip quite a bit.
Come on, lads.
Go to speedruns.com/Ducktales Remastered. You can join the Discord. You can ask questions. We can help you out the best we can, especially with the mind skip.
Why not? I'm in a general.
But either way, just
In fact,
thank you for having me on. Thank you, Proto, for
ice cream.
helping with the commentary as quick as this run was.
Yeah, and if anyone was interested in following any one of y'all, where would they go?
My Twitch at Rika Swap, I posted it earlier in chat, but it's what you see on the screen. My Twitter for updates with my Twitch is Jester Rika. You can follow me there.
Yeah. So big shout outs to Rika Suave here. This is the second time she's been on here. We were on here a few weeks ago for her Resident Evil 1 randomized on Railkun's, one of Railkun's show. They invited us, and we had a blast on that. Just shout outs to her for actually having the courage to submit and get these runs on here. Excellent run to her. Even with a couple of bad RNG things, it happens. Thanks, Vesper, for having us on here. Big shout out to the GDQ community. You guys are very supportive. We love you guys. And I stream occasionally too, mostly randomizers. And mine's, as you can see there, proto_nerd. But give Rika a follow. She streams mostly this, RE1 randomized, and Dead by Daylight. She likes horror games, even though she gets scared easily. It's fun. But yeah, that's all I got. Thanks for having us.
Hey, no problem. And speaking of horror games, don't forget that right after the Bargain Bin is Speedruns from the Crypt, a speedrunning segment all about horror games. So there's plenty of stuff coming up throughout this entire night. But don't forget, these hotfix shows that we all provide are brought to you by viewers like you. If you'd like to have ad-free viewing, please consider using your Prime Gaming account to support the weekly GDQ hotfix content. If you'd like to support the channel in other ways, consider subbing to the channel or even sharing your shows on social media. And don't forget, we do have a YouTube in case you've missed this run or any of the runs that have happened previously or throughout the entire week. That's going to be at youtube.com/GamesDoneQuick. And if you're on YouTube watching right particularly now and you want to see it live, you can head on over to twitch.tv/GamesDoneQuick to check out all of our live shows starting most nights at 7 p.m. Eastern. Once again, I want to give a huge thanks to Proto Nerd and Rika. I believe our producer Richard already put their Twitch links out there, so go ahead and give them a follow. And we're going to be right back with some more Disney games, and it's going to be Walle-E. So stay tuned. Welcome back to the Bargain Bin. I'm Midnight Vesper, your host. Just a couple of quick announcements before we go straight into our next run. Do not forget that Awesome Games Done Quick 2022 online game and volunteer submissions are now open until October 3rd. If you're looking to help with the event from the comfort of your own home, You can head on over to GamesDoneQuick.com. That's also where you can find information about how to submit speedruns for Awesome Games Done Quick 2022. And of course, don't forget that GDQ does have a new YouTube channel called GDQ Sum of Best Segments. You can actually search it by searching GDQ Sum of Best Segments. This is a highlight channel with regular videos like our main channel, but with small highlight reels from all of our main event and hotfix shows. Once again, you can search GDQ Sum of Best Segments on YouTube. And now we get to have fun with one of our beautiful, friendly little robots, Walle-E. I've always enjoyed Walle-E. We have a robotic rocketeer ready to, I guess, rocket us into some Walle-E? I don't know. That was a bad transition. Rocket, how are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing, Midnight Vesper?
I'm doing all right. I'm trying to recover from that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. There's some really good Ducktales we saw during the last run. Yeah, now we got Walle-E. This is one of the first video games I ever played, and it's really exciting for me to be able to be on here playing it in front of you guys at a speedrun marathon. So my name is Robotic Rocketeer. You guys can call me Robotic, or you can call me Rocket, or you can call me Robot, or whatever you want to call me. It's all good.
And hi, I'm the Sunshiny Days. You can go ahead and call me Sunny. I'm one of Robot's best friends, and I have run this with him technically once.
Yeah. So quick description of any percent here. It's pretty standard, any percent fair. Use timing starts when you hit play game after creating a new file, and then the run goes until the last input before end credits at the end of the last level. So I'm going to go ahead and start the run here. Let's create this save file.
Since we actually have time to name it and it doesn't count against time, we named it Bargain Bin in honor of the show.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Sure did. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start the run here in 3, 2, 1, and we're off. Game starts off with a nice little cutscene showing Walle's origin story. This is bonus content that you don't actually get to see in the film, so that's pretty cool.
Yep, there are actually
Is this
several
game
things in
canon?
here that aren't actually present in the movie.
Yeah. So we're gonna have a fun time talking about those as we go through. This first level is sort of a diagnostic type level, which is used as a framework for introducing the early mechanics of the game. So I'm going to be running through that, and Sunny is going to be explaining things as we go along, like an absolute champ. So
Oh yeah.
let's get going.
So a few of the basic movement things you'll see Robotic using are one thing that's called a box charge, which you'll see as soon as he starts the run in earnest after this cutscene is over, which is essentially ducking and dashing at the same time, which provides a whole lot of benefits, including both a method of attack and also greatly increased speed by about 1/3, I believe. And it's the main source of movement. You can also jump in this game, but it doesn't actually provide any height. It just provides distance. So if we want height, we'll have to do other things, but right now you just see Robot box charging to pick up a bunch of blue things. You need blue things in order to open doors, and which means that we have to break blue crates to get blue things.
Yeah, these blue things, we call them energy charges, or sometimes batteries for short. And they are the main collectible of this game. You use them to open the doors and progress to the next areas of the game.
You'll also occasionally, whenever just like that, a pop-up comes up that it sounds like "boing." That's because Robot is rapidly skipping through a bunch of text boxes in a row by actually spinning his mouse wheel really fast.
Prepare for the box charge checkup. Change to box form to charge into B&L crates.
That's too fast.
Phase 5.
There's no such thing as too fast. What are you talking about?
Prepare for the jump diagram.
Well, so if you get to the door and attempt to open it before you've collected all the blue energy charges, it will it will tell you you don't have enough heal energy charges yet, and you have to go away and try again.
Oh, that's very funny. So there is the half pipe that's right in front of us. Those are generally pretty slow, and speedrunners will try to avoid them when they can, though sometimes they are necessary. You'll see a good example in a little bit of a sort of a skipped ramp, at least. Not exactly a half pipe, but a skipped ramp right here. So what is supposed to happen is you're supposed to follow what that other Walle did and run down this ramp, use the half pipe, but no, Robot's just going to box charge across the gap instead.
I didn't know Walle was related to Tony Hawk.
That's actually really funny. We will have something about skating to bring up a little bit later in the run.
Yeah, we've got an entire speedrunning category dedicated to skate memes here.
Prepare for the charge level checkup. Phase 11 to prepare for the path clearing proficiency checkup. You'll have to destroy
This level, though it seems pretty introductory, can actually be a bit of a run killer just because it seems low stakes because you mess it up, you just restart the run. So it can be easy to, like, not take all of the tricks you need to go fast too seriously, but Robot's actually been doing a very good job of it so far.
Yeah, so we pulled a pretty good time for BNL tune-up, and now we're moving to our first really big skip of the game. So we've got next level here is called Sandstorm Sprint, and the basic premise here is going to be described in the cutscene, but basically 700 years later, Walle's still doing his thing. He's at work, he's building trash towers, but the weather gets bad. So as one does, it's got to run home before the weather gets him. It just so happens that in this case, this weather is trash sand.
This upcoming level is what we actually refer to as a motor coaster, which is essentially they set you at max speed and you go downhill very fast. The next one is a motor coaster, isn't it?
It is a motor coaster, yep.
Cool. So they set you at basically max speed and you go downhill really fast, so box charging doesn't actually have a lot of advantage in motor coaster levels because you're already going as fast as you can. So what's important in these levels is there are a few where finding ways to clip through walls is very important, like I believe the next one you'll see, and also just pulling really tight corners.
Yeah, just 700 years. It's just standard fare here in the Pixar universe.
Here we get to see Robot going extremely fast downhill through skater moments.
So this skip here is called Quicksand, which is just a play on the name of the level. But what we're doing here is we're skipping most of it by bouncing off this wall here, landing on this crane, missing the jump, and dying. Okay, whoops. Let's try that again.
This actually saves a good portion of the level, so it's worth getting right.
Yeah. So this skip basically lets you skip right to the end of the level by clipping out of bounds and then falling to the bottom. But sometimes you miss it because it's a pretty precise jump. So let's try that again. We end up on the crane here. And now we just control our airspeed and land down at the bottom there. So that was a second attempt quicksand. Not the best, but it's still pretty easy to recover because this run is so long. There's just a whole bunch of time saves in here.
I believe it used to be called Sand Trip.
It did used to be called Sand Trip, but then we discovered two other variations of it, renamed it to Quicksand, and then the two variations are then called Quicker Sand and Quickest Sand. So that's fun. So coming up here, we got one of the shortest levels in the game. And so from here, this level is basically meant to introduce the artifact system, which is a nice little mechanic that the game has where you can detect hidden objects by looking at them in first-person view mode. And if you go interact with them, it plays a fun little cutscene. Most of them are optional. This one's mandatory because they want you to know how to do it. So this is the only one of these that we're going to be doing, but in 100% you get a whole bunch of fun little cutscenes of Walle-E interacting with various random objects. But because that's the only thing that you're doing in this level, we're going to do it in just a couple of seconds. So I'm starting this level off by spinning my mouse wheel in the up direction, which I have mapped to both the menu confirm button and the action button. And because I have a fast scrolling mouse, it just kind of keeps going until it runs out of speed. So now I can go to my controller, start looking down, input buffer a box charge, and then go into first person view, which, because the mouse wheel is still spinning on the first frame, we're now able to interact with the artifact. And that's the end of this level. That's pretty much it. We just have to go through a door at the end, and then there we go.
That was explaining. That was, yeah. I think I followed like a good chunk of that.
It's a time. It makes more sense if you can explain it slower, but because this level goes so quickly, I have to explain what's going on before it happens. And that's it. That's the level. So
Next
from
up.
here, we're entering the level Workday, which is our first like intense platforming level, I guess, if you could call it intense, or I guess free-form platforming level. There we go.
Yeah, this one has a fun one, and it's where we get a few of the more fun skips.
So I know you're using a keyboard mouse for this particular run. Is this a run to where you could use a controller if you wanted to, or is it a specific, if you want to speedrun it, you need to use keyboard mouse?
So I use actually a mouse and a controller, which is kind of an odd setup. But I like using controller for the analog stick. But also, in order to be competitive on the PC, you have to use a mouse for segments of the run where you have to aim aim your laser at things.
What Robot is doing here is essentially we don't want to have to open the doors because the doors are frequently locked behind getting blue things or behind mini games. And just like in the Ducktales runs, we hate mini games because they're slow. And so a lot of what happens in this level and in future levels is finding ways into doored off areas without actually opening the door. There are a few different types of minigames. The slowest one is Simon Says, but unfortunately we have to do it at least a few times. Oh, that was a good one. Nice. But we can skip a lot of what happens in this level.
Now, maybe it's because I haven't seen Walle-E in a little while, but I don't remember Walle-E having a laser.
Walle-E does have a laser. He only really uses it a couple of times in the movie. But the canonical reason for it existing is because Walle-E needs to be able to access trash that might be behind steel walls or something like that. It's kind of a garbage explanation. Plot needed him to have a laser, so they gave him a laser.
And now I'm being genuinely serious because I was making a joke and they said he actually had a laser, and I was like, wait, Walle-E has a laser in the movie?
He sure does.
I don't remember, really do not remember that.
Yeah, he uses it just a couple of times in the movie. Most importantly, he uses it to open up the refrigerator that the plant is inside of. And then also he uses it to break free of some like hologram restraints in the repair ward on the Axiom.
Oh, that's
Right.
This is a fun one. Just riding your way up, forget the pistons. Let's just ride our way up.
Yeah. So you're supposed to platform up those pistons, but the game gives you a ramp that you can kind of walk up, so you go up it. Alright, so this section is really just optimized movement, trying to collect these blue batteries as quickly as we can. Lost my max speed there, but that is okay. It should be okay. But I keep bungling these jumps here.
Yeah, it's all right. We'll keep going.
All right. So sometimes you can skip that by just kind of box charging into where you need to be, and it gives you height. But it's a bit inconsistent for me, at least.
Workday is one of the longer levels in the run, but not by far not the longest. The longest will actually come a lot closer to the end of the run, and it is also a platforming level.
Right, here we go. So that right there is the end of Workday. And now we move on to Hidden Treasure, which has a whole bunch of really tight platforming in it, and the level is laid out vertically, so if you fall, you end up all the way back at the beginning. So we start off by skipping. We start off by skipping this puzzle door here just by doing a jump past it and box charging off of the angled wall there, which allows us to collect these batteries early.
Now we're gonna wall ride right along this nice little rail right here that was not intended for platforming. And jump a gap. You're not supposed to be able to jump. The end of this is actually just pretty tight movement across this bridge. I don't believe there's any more real skips at the end of this level.
There technically is a skip where you can hop up onto those side rails there, but it doesn't really save that much time, and it's pretty hard to get right, so I just don't do it. A lot of the metagame in this game is actually just like choosing which skips are worth your time to do. Everyone that runs it does different skips, and so you actually get a pretty wide variety of how runs are completed as a result of that.
We also see a lot of these horizontal bars that you have to crouch under. They're going to be important in a little bit because they allow you to do a damage boost, because if you come out of them at the wrong time, it starts the damage animation, which can be used for some true shenanigans.
Right. So this is the last part of the level here. It's more of just like trying to avoid having to make cubes and throw them. So instead we just kind of jump across this gap here and box charge across this one, and that's the level. everything's for platforming if you believe. That's very true, Cosmic.
Oh no. Wally's sad.
Yeah, so
Aw.
Wally's friend turned out to not be alive anymore, which is unfortunate.
I mean, it has been 700 years.
Yeah. But here's the laser.
Laser time.
And just
whole
like
fridge,
that, Wally
huh?
becomes a plant dad. It is a fridge.
I'm enjoying this music.
Yeah,
It's
very
got some pretty
pleasant.
good music.
Yeah, yeah.
The soundtrack for this game was composed by a guy named Bruno Kuhn. And it's actually pretty neat because the other Pixar games all have Michael Giacchino soundtracks, but the Bruno Kuhn music doesn't get copyright claimed on YouTube. So this level's also short. You just kind of chase the dot to the end. You're supposed to do like 2 laps around a course with it, but if you go around at the beginning, you can just make the dot go backwards and finish in just like a couple seconds.
There are actually a few spots in the run sort of like that, where there's something that's supposed to sort of backwards follow you, I guess, where it's supposed to stay a certain amount of space in front of you, and you can kind of manipulate that rule such that you can get it to move faster or get it to move to a place that you want just by being in the right place at the right time.
So this is the part of the movie where everything changes in Wally's life. There is now a second robot. And also this is where everything changes for this run, because this is where we get probably the biggest skip in the game.
Oh, it's definitely one of my favorites.
And yeah, it's definitely the craziest one. So what we're going to do here is basically skip roughly a third of the level. And I'll show this off in a sec. So starting off here, the level wants you to do this sort of zigzaggy thing. We're not going to do that. We're just going to cut across to save time. All right, here we go. And we are getting control back. So we just jump across here, and now we get to do a fun little thing. So Eve's cutscene trigger here extends below the ceiling, so if we just jump up there, we can phase through and activate the next part. So Eve here has an animation for this scene, but because the game didn't realize that Eve needed to be in position, she's just stuck doing her idle animation. And so now she is hanging out over there, just kind of vibing. Apologies for the mic noises, folks. Sunny's having some technical difficulties.
We'll get it.
So here we are collecting some blue batteries to open this door over here. But we're not going to open the door. What we're actually doing is using the door to activate the next series of checkpoints. Whoops. And by having those checkpoints open, that means we are free to just skip to the next portion. So going back to what Sunny was talking about with those low barriers, they force you to do an animation where Wally kind of trips and ducks underneath the barrier, and that forces Wally forward at a set horizontal speed. And that horizontal speed can only be interrupted by a vertical wall. And it just so happens that what's next to this barrier isn't a vertical wall, it is very tightly slanted, and because Wally has to have that horizontal speed, it forces him up vertically very, very high. This is called a frame rate boost because the amount of height that you get is dependent on Walle's frame rate. So we start off here by doing a nearly frame perfect jump over this bridge gap, which I am probably going to fail a few times because we be streaming. And from there, we are going to do the damage boost. Oh, almost had it.
Oh, so close.
So this skip is actually worth doing, like upwards, or worth attempting really upwards of like 10 to 20 times, just because the amount of level that you're skipping is so ridiculously high. You usually end up saving roughly like 5 minutes of gameplay by doing this thing. Okay, I am jumping too late. All right, so 45 degrees. There we go. All right, we're up. So now we ride along this barrier here, trigger it right there, box charge sideways onto this out of bounds area. So now we're going to fall here, hit that wall there so we don't take fall damage, and then activate this cutscene trigger from the wrong side. There we go. So
Wally just like flew on the air there.
Oh yeah. So that cutscene is supposed to trigger during a jump, but we did it from the ground on the wrong side, so it looks really weird. This game runs at anywhere between 250 to 300 FPS on a modern computer, so that's why you get such really crazy frame rate glitches here. We've got another instance of Eve just not being there because the game didn't know to activate her cutscene, or didn't know to activate her trigger. So here we're going to draw a shadow of a non-existent object with our laser.
I think in the context of this speed run, we can assume that Walle cut out that piece of metal because it seemed magic, because it seemed like it had a shadow without something to cast it.
Yeah.
Why does
I like to believe that speedrunner Walle is the canonical version of Walle.
I just have to ask, when Walle cuts out that, why does it look like Darth Vader's mask?
Oh man, that's a good question. I had never thought about that. All right, so this next section, we call it backwards race. So here you're supposed to sort of chase Eve around the course 3 times. She's programmed so that the level ends when you are able to catch up with her. And she stays a certain distance ahead of you that gets shorter and shorter as you complete laps. But she can't move backwards, and we can. So we're taking advantage of that by going the wrong way, having the wrong way text flash at us all the way, and just doing 1 lap in reverse. Doing some kind of tight jumps to do this because it wasn't really intended to be able to be done. But there she is. We got her. And we got the end of Shipyard.
Walle. Eve.
So here our 2 protagonists are formally introduced to each other. But oh no, the weather's getting bad, so Eve pulls out a gun and attempts to murk our boy. But
That's a good turn.
The weather gets bad. So instead, we're going to now play as Eve and clip through the bottom of the level, because that's what Eve is best at. So we're going to use this shipping container here, shoot it a few times, and now we're under. I waggle my joystick furiously to break free, and now I just have to navigate this maze of invisible walls underneath the level so we can get to the level end trigger.
The speedrunning tactics
go.
in this game are so good. I love this game, actually.
Yeah, I started running this game sort of as a meme because I just kind of had it in my shovelware collection. But like, once I found the community, and learned that there were people actually seriously running it, I had to also seriously run it. And so now I do this seriously. This is like the only thing I do on my Twitch channel is run Walle-E. And it's genuinely one of my favorite games out there.
It's a super fun run to watch, though. It really is.
It really does combine all of the delight of Walle-E with all of the fun, sort of janky tactics of your favorite speedruns. Lots of good clips, lots of good skips. It's just a good time all around.
Yeah.
It really is like the quintessential like early 3D platformer where you've got a whole bunch of really fun out of bounds skips. The game has like just the right amount of polish to where it looks pretty good, but also it's not impossible to break it. And when you do break it, it always goes in really fun ways. So Eve here just took our boy's plants, and he's not super happy about that. So he goes back to work, makes one cube, and then well, look at his sad little robot face.
Aww.
But he's not gonna be at work for very long, because look who's back. It's the spaceship that she came in on, which means we're about to go on an adventure.
He forgot his lunch.
Did forget his lunch.
Oh, Tata's in chat mentioning the 3 separate Walle-E games by different devs.
Oh yeah, so that's a fun thing. So you may remember playing the Walle-E game as a kid if you're old enough for that. But if you played it on Wii, Xbox 360, or PlayStation 3, that was an entirely different game. And if you played it on the DS, that was also an entirely different game.
Oh,
So the way
horror
this
of the
actually
DS.
worked out, there was this game was contracted to Heavy Iron Studios by Disney Pixar, and they went ahead and made the current gen console at the time versions of the game, which were Wii, Xbox 360, and PlayStation 3. But they didn't want to make the PlayStation 2 port, the PC port, or the DS port, so they subcontracted those two out to Asobo Studio, who made Walle-E. Fun fact about them, they are also responsible for A Plague Tale: Innocence and 2020's Microsoft Flight Simulator. And they contracted the DS version out to Helix Studio. And that's why we got 3 different versions of the game. And they're all different.
Oh, go ahead.
They're all different, but they all share some like similar aspects. Like this version shares most of the soundtrack with the current gen version. The reason the PS2 version got adapted for PC instead of the modern console version was because the idea was that they wanted a wider range of PCs to be able to run the game, which is why at the time in 2008 I was able to play this game pretty decently on like a 10-year-old at the time Apple iBook.
All right, so the next level coming up is Stowaway to Space, which is, I believe, our first shooting gallery level, which you
Sure
can
is.
technically lose time on, but it's really hard to do because it's a semi-auto scroller. Essentially, it's a level wherein the game will throw a bunch of obstacles at you and you have to shoot them as quickly as possible, because the faster you shoot the first wave, the faster you get the second wave.
Yeah. So that's what we're doing. We're just shooting at little tiny obstacles as the screen shakes. And the screen shake really throws it off. This is actually one of the more challenging levels to save time on because you just have to be pretty precise with your mouse movement here.
Also, it's important to shoot things that aren't just the obstacles. You do actually have to also shoot the crates full of red stuff, because red recharges your laser, and if you run out of that in the middle of the level, you will just die.
Yeah, and not just that, but these crates are usually optional in all the other levels, and they're optional here too, but the game won't advance you to the next phase until all of the obstacles or until all the objects in the screen are cleared. So you have to shoot the crates and the rocks and satellites here. And it won't let you continue even until the red charges hit Walle, so you kind of have to prioritize the crates so that they have time to unload themselves at you. Like that.
You know, when I first saw the health bar before you explained it, I thought that was the red bar was the health bar, and that it would, just because you're in space, it's gradually decreasing.
Oh, yeah. So that's your laser meter. Wally's health bar actually looks like his solar charge meter, which you will see. I can pull it up on the HUD at the beginning of this level here.
Oh, wait, but before we talk about that, we should talk about
we gotta
percent.
talk about the skatist. Yeah. So on the Walle speedrunning Discord, there was briefly a meme called the skatist, where it literally just consisted of the phrase the skatist accompanied by a picture of Walle. But we made a speedrun category for it, named after based on a thing that the kid that invented it did. And so the skatist percent, which is, or at least was on the category extensions, allows you is where you go in, you attempt the first jump of this level while the skateboarder cheat is enabled. You turn the camera all the way around, you fail to jump and die, and that's how you complete the speed run. That's it. That's the run. We really like our meme runs in this community. It's really hard to take yourselves too seriously when you're playing a funny robot game. So we don't do all serious runs of this game.
This is another one of those levels where something is supposed to stay a certain amount of space in front of you. So you can manipulate this by standing in a very specific corner of a platform to make it zoom ahead real fast.
Yeah, so here, this cart is going to think, once it gets to the end of that segment, that we're at the end of the next segment. So it just comes at you, and then we die because we missed the jump.
It does happen.
That's intended, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
That was completely intentional. It saves 2 seconds.
We call it the
always saves
Statist
2
2.
seconds.
Walle-E Pro Skatist 2.
Pro Skatist 2. Alright, so we're going to actually nail this jump this time.
There we go.
There you go. Nice.
Yes. So going around here, we're going to keep following the cart, but then we're going to deviate from the intended path here to try and gain some extra time. So we're going to jump sideways off this ramp here, and then move on to the next part. That only saves a couple of seconds, but it's still there. So here we get our first actual use of the Simon Says minigame.
And you're about to see how slow it is.
Produce to gain access.
Pretty good RNG for that first one. pretty bad RNG for that second one.
That's not bad
There we
RNG for
go.
the last one.
Yeah. So here, because I'm using a controller, I really don't want to see diagonal movements because the game will only let you move Walle's finger cursor along primary axes with the joystick. So you have to do like a left and then an up movement to do diagonal. On keyboard, you can do them very close together, which is a notable advantage to keyboard mouse runners, but because I use an analog stick, I lose that advantage. This here is my least favorite part of the run.
Tell us
just
about
kinda
it.
have to
Why is it
sit
your
here.
least favorite?
You just kind of have to sit here and wait. If you touch the ground, you die, and it sends you all the way back to the beginning there. There is a glitch that you can activate in this level that allows you to go fast. However, it comes at the expense of being able to control that speed in any way whatsoever, which means it is theoretically possible to finish this level absurdly fast. But it's never going to happen because nobody is able to control it, and the consequences are just so dramatic. Like you can actually lose like 3 minutes by failing the jump at the end here,
Wow.
and you're just kind of sitting here on these very, very slow carts as Eve is still on a cart that will move at any arbitrary speed to stay ahead of you, but you can't. So this is just kind of the part of the speed run where we just sit there and let Walle vibe for a bit, and then we go back to platforming.
Well, it deserves.
Remember
a
how
vibe
I
every now
said-
and then.
Yeah. Remember how we said earlier that we hate minigames just like the DuckTales run hates minigames?
Yeah.
We hate Simon Says.
Alright, so we're going to jump diagonally here to avoid that half pipe. Almost die, but don't. And then jump again. You can chain diagonal jumps here if you're feeling lucky, but I am not today, so I'm going to not. And now we just got a nice fun little Tony Hawk Pro Skater segment where you just try to keep your max speed as fast as you can, duck under the barriers, go over some half pipes, do some 6 skating trips. And if you thought Walle was a slow robot, you would be very wrong. Our boy can catch some serious airtime here just by doing his thing and jumping off of ramps.
Does that mean we're gonna see Walle at the next X Games?
God, I hope so.
Oh, I sure hope so.
I'd love that personally.
I think someone, I'm probably wrong here, but I do recall at some point, I think I saw someone actually make a Walle mod for Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, where they just kind of swapped Walle's model in. And
That's so cute.
That is great.
yeah. If I'm wrong, then this needs to happen. I'll have to do it myself. Fine, I'll do it myself.
First real auto scroller of the game.
Yeah, so this is a true auto scroller. It's similar to the previous one where you have to shoot the targets, but this time you're on rails and you have to go through the end. There's no way to save time here. You just kind of do the thing. So I'm just gonna write G, D, Q on the floor a bunch of times to make up time.
This is also a good time to talk about how we did the co-op for this game, which is that Robot used the controller and I was handed the mouse, which meant that I was in charge of all of the instances of auto scrollers so that I couldn't lose time.
Hey, you were also responsible for a lot of instances where you could lose time. You were responsible for the tracing segments. You're responsible for a good chunk of camera movement. You're devaluing your contribution there.
I think the point more is that the rules for the co-op run is that a second person has to make an input, because the difficult part of a co-op run is not actually doing the run. It's finding a second person who is willing to do the run with you.
Yeah, that's true. Not a whole lot of people are going to be willing to run Walle-E on the PC as a speed game, and even fewer people are going to be willing to help someone else run Walle-E on the PC as a speed game. So it's actually my primary challenge with finding someone to speedrun Up as co-op, which Sunny was also gracious enough to suffer through with me. That game, I would not want to play again. Honestly, it was quite tedious, and we also had a game crash like 30 minutes into the run. It was a good time.
There was an interesting question in chat about the half pipes that you're going through. Is it dependent on like a certain length? So if you go too high up to gain speed going back down, is that going to actually be slower, or is that faster in the run overall?
So it takes a little bit of extra time to go up higher, but that gets counteracted by the fact that you're going to be at full speed when you come back down. So you can probably save a couple or like a little bit of time by slowing down before you hit every half pipe, but you end up getting that time back by just always being at the top speed when you come back down.
Back to Earth?
I'd like to point out that the captain's fingers are cubes.
They are in fact cubes. If you listen here, you get a lot of really, really good human dialogue in this game.
Let's open her up.
Like up here, we've got the captain realizing that the plant isn't in there.
Where's the thingy?
Where's the thingy?
Right. Yeah. So where is it?
Someone asks, why is the captain so many less polygons than everything else? And I think it's that a lot of the robots don't need a lot of polygons, because they are polygons, because they're square, except Eve, I guess.
We're not going to Earth?
Eve is also pretty low poly if you look at her from here.
The probe must be defective. Send her to the repair ward for a checkup. And fix that robot as well.
I have a personal theory here that they might have replaced the captain's voice actor kind of late into the development of this game, and that's why some of his lines almost overlap with each other. I don't know that this is true. Don't take any of this for a fact, but it's the only explanation I can come up with that makes sense. So this level, Life on the Axiom, introduces the reject bots, who are defective robots who help Walle-E along his journey. And they're nice and all, but they're also slow, so we try to avoid using them whenever possible. So we're going to skip a couple of them. This first one we use because he's a massage robot that is able to destroy blocks, and you need these blocks to be destroyed to get through that wall over there. But now that he's done his job, we've freed him. He's free to do whatever he wants now. We collect all the blue batteries in this room and we move on to the next one. There are 6 rooms in this level that you just kind of have to go through sequentially. That guy there was Gopher. He is a nuisance.
I love
and
Gopher.
He takes cubes. So here, we're going to do what's called vacuum skip. So we've got another Gopher there. He doesn't like cubes. So if you bring a cube too close to him, he'll do that. And if you try to throw one past him, he'll just zap it. So we are going to go over here, throw a cube just outside of his detection radius, pick it up, and then box charge to teleport it through the wall. And that allows us to not use the vacuum bot to spit trash in our face and generate a cube. So that saves us a good amount of time. We actually don't use the vacuum bot at any point in this run because it moves very slowly, so we were very motivated to find skips for it.
Yeah, I was talking with Robot about this when we were going over tricks before this to practice, and I counted them. There are 3 whole vacuum skips throughout the game.
Yeah, so this robot here is named Defib. It is a defibrillator robot, which is defective in that it just zaps things. And we can use that to overload certain security doors.
I enjoy Wally's little dance whenever they finish Simon Says correctly.
Yeah,
So cute.
those are fun. Oh, you're gonna really enjoy this one too. Check this out. There it goes.
Yay!
Yay!
Yeah, the animation in this game is really fun, and it makes me genuinely sad that we skip some of them because it's a fun game to play. It's fun to play casually. It's fun to play competitively, and it's just really hard to be upset at this game ever. So here, this robot is called Brella. Its main purpose is to allow you to cross gaps. So you can use it as a trampoline, hop across, and then collect cubes. And then that's most of what it does. So what I've been doing here, these are magnet cubes, and they just attract the bigger magnet cube to wherever the small one was when it landed. They kind of get introduced here, but they can be used for some really interesting platforming later on in the game. So I'm going to show that off. So this level, you're supposed to use a lamp bot to navigate this dark maze, but we're going to not do that because that takes time, and we're speedrunners. And our objective is right there.
Robot has told me that he actually had this level memorized long before he ever actually speed ran it, for one very specific reason.
Yeah, so the family computer back in the day wasn't actually able to render the effects from the lamp bot, so there was no way to actually get that light effect to work, which meant I just kind of had to figure out where the floor was there and navigate around it.
Oh, wow.
And I was able to make it past, and I was able to get to the next level, and that's where I remained stuck until we got a slightly better computer like a year later. And the reason I wasn't able to complete the next level was also for the same reason, which is that I wasn't able to finish the dark mazes, but this time there was moving platforms inside the dark maze, which caused you to, which made it impossible to actually memorize the layout. So here we've got Robot Rescue. Eve is in the repair ward, and she's locked in there. You need 2 security keys to be able to get through. And it just so happens that these 2 security keys are attached to those guys who go into different rooms, and you gotta go get it.
We're gonna bring back some skating stuff this level with some extreme air from the Brella.
Oh yeah. We're gonna do the first and only instance of a Brella boost in this game. And it's gonna be pretty cool. You get some pretty sick air, and it looks really cool to pull off. And hopefully I can actually get it first try this time. For some reason, this is one of the things that I've been like really choking on in practice runs this week, and it's not that hard of a skip to do. So
That always happens to me when I have to practice with something like that.
Match
Yeah.
color pairs to gain access.
Top middle.
top middle. Thank you.
Clear.
I take it that's RNG, or is that just?
Yeah, these are RNG. And you just kind of have to remember them. And it turns out that I have pretty bad short-term memory. So those are my least favorite puzzle in the game. They take a long time, and I'm not good at them. So just gotta save time in other ways. So here we've got Brella. We are using that magnet cube so that it can come across that gap. So we're gonna start off, collect these 2 cubes, shoot down with our laser, and then we're gonna do a flyby here. So we're gonna boost off there, get sick air, and open the door. And that saves us from having to go all the way across the level on that little trampoline.
Nice job.
So now that we open that door, we got a little bit of floor back, but it's on the wrong side. But basically what we're trying to do here is we're trying to restore the rest of the floor to the level and open that that column in the middle so we can get to that key card. So those 2 stewards over there, they're gonna throw cubes at us and try to harass us, and we're just going to ignore them because what are they gonna do? That, apparently. So we're just going to call defib towards us, activate the door cutscene. Okay, never mind. Come here, buddy. There we go. So if you actually can get it to the door and activate that cutscene, Walle-E is invincible during that cutscene, so he just can't take damage. But
He just sits there getting shocked. It's it's quite funny.
yeah, so you're just kind of standing there getting zapped over and over again and being completely unfazed by it.
Remember and
And now we're slightly low on health, but that's okay.
Clear.
All right.
I like the tire marks on the ground, even though it's like on a platform that probably shouldn't have tire marks.
Yeah. There's really not a whole lot of explanation for why those are there.
I choose to believe he's just that dirty after spending that much time on the planet, and that's why I believe it's Mo is so determined to clean him up at some point in the movie.
At every point in the movie. So here, we can take advantage of the fact that cubes will ricochet and hit 2 of those targets at once, and we only need 2 targets to be hit. So what those do is they lower these panels down from the ceiling, which we can use for platforming later on. So first we're going to go over here, grab this crate, grab this next crate, and we're going to pull some sick Tony Hawk tricks to get some upwards momentum and move into the upper section. So all of these ramps are a thing because Walle's jump doesn't give you a whole lot of height. It gives you a pretty good amount of distance, but no height. So we have to use other tricks to be able to get up. So most of that is by converting forward speed into vertical speed through these half pipes. And you can also do some unintended glitches by box charging into certain obstacles so that they will give Walle-E a bit of boost, like at the tops of ramps and things like that. So here we're going to just kind of scoot past Mo, and okay, you try not to interact with him. Sometimes he still gets you.
But he's your friend, Robot.
Oh, he's not our friend yet. He wants to clean us right now. And unfortunately, cleaning you hurts you for some reason.
Because we keep leaving all those dirty tracks along the floor.
He's an angry boy.
It all kind of makes sense.
All right. We managed to not die there. We've got less than 1 bar of health left. But we're good. So moving on to the next segment here, we're gonna see the dark maze that gave me so much trouble as a kid.
That dance.
You know, Walle's victory dances are all very high quality here. I appreciate them a lot.
Same.
Speaking of dark mazes, I believe this is the one with the rats.
Oh yes, there are rats in here. They're called
There are
Remy's.
rats in. Oh yeah, they are called Remy's, like from Ratatouille. But Asobo actually has rats in every one of their games except maybe Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. We are unclear on the rat situation with regards to that game. But up until that point, every single game Asobo had made had rats in it.
I'm sure rats are there somewhere.
I hope so, because there are rats in the world. If you can fly all around the world, you should be able to see some rats if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why shouldn't there be rats in a flight simulator game?
What if there were rats on the planes?
What if the pilot is a rat?
Oh, ooh, I like that take. Oh, I like that. What if it's a Ratatouille situation where the pilot has a rat controlling him under his cap?
That's canon now. There's no way it's not. This is an official part of Microsoft Flight Simulator lore. There are rats underneath all the pilots' hats.
Wait, does that mean that the player is controlling the rats, which are controlling the pilots?
Oh yeah, except there's also an even smaller rat that controls there's a slightly larger rat that controls the pilots. It's rats all the way down.
Someone says pigeons, flying rats.
Pigeons flying, yes, agreed. So here we're going to do vacuum skip 2. That door that we just passed has a vacuum bot in it. We don't interact with it. We just go through here, box charge off of this ramp here, ride this window, and activate this robot arm. While we're waiting for that, we take care of the steward, hop up on here, and chill for a sec. Once we gain enough height, we can jump to the next section.
Dial code to gain access. Clear.
It's rats all the way down.
Mo, please. We're trying to go fast.
Yeah, this is a speed run, Mo, don't you know?
Mm-hmm. This little tunnel always reminds me of in Danganronpa 2 when you have to do the skater mini game and you have to do the multiple choice and then go through a tube and go down whichever path corresponds with your logic.
Yeah, so this part is fun because we can get a thing in this level that's called Unlucky Stewards, and we've got one where the steward just kind of spawns under the floor, and there's nothing you can do about it except just kind of try to lure them back out by standing in a corner and going into first-person view. Like that.
Oh, there it is.
And Walle victory dance again.
He threw little peace signs.
He's just vibing. He's having a grand old time.
Look at him go. This is the most people he's ever run into in the past 700 years.
The original Walle Naruto run right there.
Manic Ascendant says the speedrunners were rats all the time. Why do you think cheap strats in some areas are called cheesing?
Cheesing. Oh, I really like that. That's a good theory. I can neither confirm nor deny. I'm just gonna say my hair has been described as a rat's nest before. Do with that info as you will. Walle also being controlled by a ratatouille. Yes.
Yes, Cosmic Pines. Yes.
Or like Naruto Ride.
Pew pew.
Pew pew.
I love the shape of that pink robot. Love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her name is Pretty. She is a hairstylist and beautician robot. And she's also got some really good lines in the movie, but unfortunately she doesn't really talk in the game. So here, this level is called Human Highway. We're going to first start by trying to optimize the number of stewards we can dispatch using each cube that we throw. We're going to try and get 2 per cube. So we're going to start off using this explosive cube to take out 2 of them over there, pick up another explosive cube, and kind of stealth our way over here to take care of that guy. Now over here we can pick this guy up, and okay, so that didn't go as planned. But if they're standing close enough together, you can do that where it bounces and you can take care of 2 of them in one shot, and that's just the fastest way to do it. But we got all but one with optimum strats, so we're good there. Now we got another color
more
magic
memory.
game. Pretty decent RNG there.
No, top 2.
There we go.
Nice.
So the way I kind of approach these things is I try to like generate a path that I can go through, and just kind of push the button every time I hit one that's correct, but sometimes my pathing is wrong, so that ends up delaying the puzzle. And here we've got Frogger. Why do Walle got Frogger in it? Nobody knows.
Nobody
I was
knows.
gonna ask, why Frogger?
There will be at least 2 more instances of Frogger later in the game.
I think the developers of this game really just kind of sat down and said, you know, what arcade games did we have fun with as children? And they just kind of tried to integrate elements in there wherever they could. So we got Frogger. We've got some fun platforming. We've got the puzzles that were all clearly like inspired by memory games from childhood.
I used to love those. I loved memory games as a kid.
Me too.
I still kind of do.
And back when the word yeet was still a big meme, this game was perfect for it.
And reproduce to gain access.
I feel like it's a little bit socially unacceptable to say the word yeet frequently these days, though. So I'm going to refrain.
Why? It's fun.
Oh man, Yeah, so
The
there I
fun
tried to do a
word.
diagonal movement and it didn't work.
Clear.
There we go.
You know, you really think that this ship would have better security than just making people play basic memory and logic games, but who knows? I've never designed a spaceship before.
Get ring away for 5.
Yeah, most captchas are more secure than that. But that's just me. Alright, so here is Vacuum Skip 3. So here, we're going to lure a steward bot over to the edge of where Gopher is able to detect cubes. We bap into it and turn it into a cube. And that allows us to progress without having to lure the very slow vacuum bot over.
Clear.
Insert Scuttlebug transportation joke here.
More Frogger!
More Frogger. Alright, so here, the death barriers are actually really, like, at the floor level, so if you try to do these jumps at all before the floor comes up, it will cause Walle-E to die in the spot where he should. So we have to be very careful in this segment to be entirely sure that our jumps are where they need to be.
Decode sequence.
Also, I like how Otto is here, like, clearly knowing that we're not supposed to be going through this door, but is unable to do anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
Despite having literally control over the entire ship as the autopilot.
Clear.
That's just a good security system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Truly.
If you are able to solve basic cognitive puzzles, you can access anything on the ship. Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Alright, and that's the end of Human Highway. And now we get to Pod Blaster, which is another one of the shooting gallery levels. But the difference here is that you can't run out a laser charge because Walle-E has a laser charge meter, but the escape pod does not. Why does an escape pod have a laser? I don't know. But it does,
actually a
and so
great
we have a
question.
fun level. And this also has one of the funny glitches here. So in order to shoot the laser out of the pod, there's a certain region that the mouse cursor is allowed to be in, which matches the shape of the window. However, that region is slightly bigger at the beginning of the level, so that you can press the OK button on the menu, on the text box. But what this means is for a few frames, you're allowed to aim outside of the allowed region, which means Walle-E can shoot himself with the laser through the pod, like so. And now he's just facing the wrong way. And he stays like that for the whole rest of the level. And this actually did damage here. If I pull up my HUD, you can see he's down to 4 health bars. And I've never actually managed to cause Walle-E to die like this because the cursor moves back into place before you can, but you're able to do it.
I don't think ships are supposed to be designed like that. Now, I could be wrong.
Yeah.
There are a few design flaws in this escape pod. There's another one we'll see in just a moment with the security system again.
Yeah. So in like a minute here, Walle-E is going to attempt to open the escape hatch, and we're going to have quite possibly the biggest OSHA violation in this entire game. Now, is there OSHA in future trash polluted Earth?
I
Corporate
hope
trash
so.
polluted Earth? I hope so. But it's hard to tell sometimes. All right, so here we go. This asteroid is too big to shoot. And there's a security door at the emergency exit. Why is there a security door here?
It's poor planning. That's poor planning on everybody's part, I think.
All right, here goes. So now we get another Eve level. This one's pretty straightforward. There's no major skips here. You just kind of go fast. But you got Walle-E hanging out on his fire extinguisher there. And you're only going to see him for a little bit because we're just going to outrun him.
I love the design of this level specifically because I personally am an enjoyer of glowy blue crystals in caves in video games.
It is a surprisingly specific aesthetic that is not very uncommon, but it is a very good one, so I can see why.
Any cave in a video game that has glowy blue crystals or glowy blue mushrooms is a well-designed cave, in my opinion.
I have no disagreement there.
Same.
Someone in chat asked, there's a Walle-E game? How have I not known about this? There are actually a few Walle-E games. There's this one, we mentioned them earlier a little bit. There's this one, there's the DS one, I forget which other ones there are. But
There's
at one point,
also the-
Robot decided that he was going to run all of them in one sitting, even though he was running one of them for the first time.
Yeah, I'd never played the DS game up until that point, and I doubt that I will ever play the DS game again. There are people who speedrun it seriously. All the power to them. I can't do it. Here we get the funniest voice line in the game. Check this out.
Yes.
Goodness gracious!
Goodness gracious! Every time he says that, it just makes me happy.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah. But also on top of the three main games, which are the PS2 PC version, the DS version, and the Xbox 360 Wii PS3 version, there are also some lesser known versions. There's the J2ME mobile version, which no one's done a run of. But there are also the plug-and-play TV game version and the Leapster version, both of which have speedrun boards. You should run those games. They're okay games, but they have speedrun boards, and I'm not the only runner of at least one of them. I think someone actually did an emulated Leapster run. Or no, I think it was an emulated, emulated plug-and-play run. So they are technically active leaderboards. Fun times.
Here's
so here we've got
our-
another...
Our second true auto scroller, where you
Yeah.
just have to shoot Gopher a lot.
Yeah.
Not
And
Gopher.
because
I know.
this game was made to be played on an analog stick where you can only move like the cursor this quickly, Gopher doesn't take a whole lot to knock out, so you can really take care of him in the first couple frames of each segment, and then just draw on the floor for fun.
You should draw a heart. Or a
that's
smiley
a good
face.
idea. Happy face.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Heart. Yeah. Yeah. It was close. It's kind of hard because the floor is moving away from you, but
Heart would be pretty hard.
yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
In chat, Josh asks if we've spoken about the slight differences between Wii and Xbox 360/PS3 versions.
Oh, we have not. So the Wii version is actually an incomplete port of the other two versions. So they Heavy Iron Studio actually did that one in house, but they had, well, the Wii wasn't able to handle the full level, so they had to split the levels into a whole bunch of shorter sections and just completely omit some parts of certain levels. So the Wii version is it's faster to complete, both because of that and also because the Wii menu allows you to skip cutscenes. So that's a fun little difference there. But those versions of the game are on their own separate board, because obviously they're completely separate games from this one and the DS version.
It's so beautiful.
And I really only mainly run the PC version, so you'll have to consult with some other folks for more details about that version. I think Hoon is in chat. He can talk about things.
Can it really be true?
Jack 8 can also. He runs this game.
But it found the plant. All we need to do now is get the plant to the hollow detector.
Oh, Eve is not happy.
So this cutscene here is the longest one in the game. This is usually where I like stand up and get a drink of water. But you just kind of sit here and wait for it to finish. It's a good time.
That was a good time to get up and
like
stretch.
some pretty good dialogue in it, yeah. Isometric exercise, you know.
Yeah.
Get yourself a good stretcheroo in there. And here goes. So now we got trash shoot, but not spelled the way you would expect trash shoot to be spelled. It is a pun. It is trash, S-H-O-O-T, because it's another motor coaster. We're going fast. Wally's shooting the tube, if you will. So you saw how the camera was angled backwards there. That actually allows you to do a skip that is really only viable for individual level runs. But you can basically go backwards and once again fall all the way down to the bottom. But it's a lot trickier to do, and you soft lock if you fail it, which means you then have to go use the level menu to restart the level. And then from there, you have to watch the cutscene again.
Ooh.
So,
oh wow,
it's not worth it. You end up losing roughly 3 minutes per attempt at that. So, really good for individual levels, not good for a full game run.
Now, I like that they've given us a courtesy timer, assuming that we won't make it in time, that we might not be, fast enough.
This is a speed run, thank you very much.
But they're giving us the courtesy of it, no matter what, and you know that's nice of them.
So there are actually like cutscenes for failing these timers in the other motor coaster levels. In the Sandstorm one, Walle gets blown away by the sand. In Surprise Departure, the spaceship obviously takes off without you if you're too late. Here you just kind of reset if you fail the timer, and it's not really explained why. But we got another cutscene here leading into the longest level of the game. And this is also the only cutscene that has what I'm calling a mid-cutscene activity in it, because that's really the only thing I can describe it as. So here, Walle needs to get Eve out of this trash cube. The door is closing, we're running out of time, whatever will we do? And this concludes our mid-cutscene activity. Yeah, I don't know why that wasn't just part of the cutscene, but I'm glad that it's there because it does kind of help to break up the flow. It's, I guess you could call this a a quick time interaction. I think that's what the term is. That's basically all it does. It lets you progress the cutscene.
I love Mo and his little backpack. Look at him.
It's full of hand sanitizer.
Aww.
He just wants things to be clean.
Yeah.
He's a good robot. They're all good robots, Brent.
They are all good robots.
Yeah.
People in chat are pointing out that this actually isn't present in the movie. And from what I remember, it was a last-minute swap to Walle-E being hurt for Eve's character development, if I remember correctly.
That is correct. So, Andrew Stanton, at the literal last second, a couple of months before the film got released, realized that having Walle-E or having Eve be the one that's hurt was damaging her arc in terms of learning to ignore her programming. So, in a last-second decision of cinematic genius, they had Walle-E be the one that's hurt here, and Eve has to go and return to Earth to get parts for him. And that is what ends up driving Eve's arc at the end of the movie, versus this version, which is where Walle-E is trying to fix Eve. And that is it's really interesting because it really kind of shows off the timeline that movie game developers are on, because they have to get the game out before the movie comes out, or it has to coincide at least. So, and because game development takes so long, any last second changes to the plot of the movie will just be stuck in the game. And so you end up with this kind of time capsule of what an adaptation of the movie would have looked like if the movie was in the form that it was in a few months before release.
That was a good choice from the director, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It really changed the game on the movie, and
It did, yeah.
I cried during that movie. I think I would still cry.
Yeah, I still cry watching this movie. It's really good. In my very biased opinion, it is the best movie to come out of Pixar so far. Obviously, I'm looking at this through nostalgia goggles, but I stand by my opinion there.
I love the explosion noises in this. They're good.
Yeah.
Crunchy.
Very.
I do love me a good crunch. And we got another dark maze here.
It's the rats!
Got more rats. Why do Walle-E game have rat in it?
Yeah, that's my question, because they're clearly rat robots. What do they do?
So, in the movie, they're actually shaped like computer mice, which is a really dumb joke, but I love it. And I think they're just supposed to be responsible for breaking up larger pieces of garbage and turning them into smaller pieces of garbage. Basically what rats do IRL, which is neat. But they're in there. And I think it's really mostly for the visual gag of having mouse robots, which I very much appreciate. Really takes one of the low points of the low points of the plot, at least, where you're supposed to be sad and everything. You get a nice visual gag out of it. It's fun. I don't know why those guys are not shaped like computer mice, though. They got glowy tails and will zap you if you're not illuminated.
I like that timing of the zap as you said zap.
Yeah.
Well, you know what they say, comedic timing is my second middle name.
Now, you'll notice that Robot's been collecting a lot of Eve parts through this level, and earlier in the game, there were a lot of cutscenes where all he had to do was get to the area that triggered the cutscene and then go. That doesn't actually work for this. He actually does have to get all of the pieces, which isn't too much of a problem because most of them are in his path. But if he misses one, he has to go back for it, which does lose a lot of time if he doesn't get it the first time.
Yeah. Sometimes when playing this level, I forget that there are collectibles because most of them are just in the path that you go through. But sometimes you miss one by a mistake, and then that ends up just killing the run. Fortunately, I think we have all of them. So here we're just going to use these platforms here to, or we're going to not use the last platform because we're going to use this little ramp here to get some air, box charge to the side, and that lets us skip having to ride that platform and lose a couple seconds. Let's see how our cycle is. Okay, we got a bad cycle on this platform here. We just gotta wait for it to come back. And we're on our way.
Whee!
Whoa.
Oh,
All right, save it.
for the bonk.
And once we get out from under this barrier, we got some more Tony Hawk shenanigans. Gonna catch some serious downward momentum there. And there we go. All right, 13 Eve parts. We're on pace. We didn't miss any. Goes. And here we've got another one of the color matchy puzzles. Oh.
Match the color pairs and you'll gain access.
And so oh, that's really good RNG.
That is incredible. I think bottom middle.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. All right. Cool beans. So here we have to wait for these Walle-E's to come around and right on top of their heads to get to that island in the middle. Unfortunately, the cycle is such that it is not possible to get to the second one the first time around. So you just kind of gotta wait for this guy to come around. He's quite slow. Let's see if we can catch some air off of this trash in the middle.
Sick.
All right, here we go. Back to your regularly scheduled platforming. And off we go.
Walle's got all the skills.
Mm-hmm.
He truly is the pro skater.
Now, we're getting towards the end of the level, and you may be wondering, why is Walle still missing 3 Eve parts?
Yeah. Yeah, why are we missing? They're right there. They just put them all right there at the end. Why are they there at the end? I don't know.
That
one of life's great mysteries.
Like, for a casual player, that would be really frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It confused me the first time. But they were all right there, and like, if you look at the mini-map, they're all marked, but most people don't look at the mini-map because this is gaming. Level design should be intuitive. I think they just ran out of hiding places for it and then realized having 20 is having better than 17, so they were just like, here, 3-1. And now we get Holo Detector Dash, which is, it's got my personal favorite skip in the game here. Mostly because it's got a really tight jump in it that took me a long time to get down. And I'll show this off in a sec. in the meantime, enjoy some fun physical comedy with the captain.
Otto, this is mutiny. This is your last chance. Otto, do you hear me? Stupid wheel! The plant!
It's got very expressive animation.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hey, hey!
This is the captain. I'm locked in my room. Drop one, bring the plant to the Lido deck. Now! Hurry! Otto's probably gonna cut me off. And if he does...
All right, so here we go. So this level, there's a segment that you need to get to that's gated off by a bunch of water fountains. And obviously, Walle-E is a robot and cannot interact with water. So you need to turn off these fountains so that you can get to the next part. However, the water is simulated really just by a cylindrical hitbox on the outside two fountains of any given sequence, which means you can phase through the middle ones. So provided that you can make it to the middle, you don't have to deactivate this first set of fountains. So what we're doing here is using a damage boost to skip across here. See those fountains to the right? That's what we're trying to skip. And carefully navigating our way across here. And we are in.
Nice job.
Yeah, it's a fun one to watch.
Yeah.
So we go across here. Take care of that steward there. Pick up the magnet cube, and now we are on our way. Now we're just trying to deactivate the second set of fountains so that we can complete this segment. Throw the cube at that target there, that lets us across. And we're in. And we got detected. Take care of these guys. If you get a good cycle, you can stealth your way through it, but that just means you're going to get detected on the way back, which isn't as big of a deal, but you do lose a little bit of time having to navigate around them. Alright, there we go. Yeah, that is Frogger. There's a few Frogger mini games in here. I think the folks at Asobo Studio just liked Frogger, and so they put it in there.
I mean, Frogger's a fun game.
Yeah,
it
it's
really
classic
is.
for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, these old arcade games really just have a timeless appeal to them. So we use that magnet cube to get the big magnet cube out of the way. And we can use a regular cube to activate that bridge. So most of this level is getting spotted and just trying to avoid having to deal with these guys anyway, just by speedily running past them. So this jump here I'm doing by box charging and jumping within a couple frames of each other, and that allows me to do a mid-air jump that has a slightly higher speed than a normal jump, and that's what allows me to clear that gap. Get a cube, throw it, here we go. And now we can deactivate the fountains and go on our way.
I like how you were detected during that little funny cutscene and nothing happened.
Yeah. So during these cutscenes, again, Walle is completely invincible. So you can actually you can take infinite damage, and it just kind of has the steward bot standing there zapping you while Walle is completely unfazed about it.
Yeah.
So we're going to use the steward again for another damage boost here. Gets us up there. And now we can jump.
Ooh.
And fail the jump.
Oh.
But you can jump onto that fountain in the middle there. Oh, right Gotta go back and get the cube.
Wally was just going for a swim. It's okay.
Yeah, he's vibing, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Nice little vacation spot.
Yeah.
Look at all those simulated palm trees. It's a perfect
I
getaway.
accidentally marked the steward, so we're going to use this umbrella to get up there. It's real messing up the run hours here. Here we go. Dang, not again.
Aw.
Okay, we'll get it this time. Third time's a charm. All right, there we go.
There's that. Yeah.
There we go.
Woohoo.
And we're across, and time for more Frogger.
Woo.
They do love Frogger in this game.
They do.
And now this part is just trying to take out these stewards. Just every steward in this section has to be killed so that you can open the door over there. And a lot of it is just like cube optimization. Like sometimes the cubes will land in convenient spaces, and it's a little bit faster to take out stewards with a cube than it is with your lasers. So that's our preferred method here. So we got a little boost here, which means we're able to get to the cube generator, which means we can take these guys out a little bit faster. Box charge into that guy. Start shooting this one. Actually, there's two cubes over here. Just no. The cube despawned. Oh well.
Oh no.
And there we go. And this final part of this level here is a wave battle with stewards. So you're just going to hang out in the middle of this swimming pool here. And do a lot of spinning around in circles because the stewards don't spawn until you look at them. So we're just going to take out this wave by doing simple box charge. And then we're going to use the debris to create a single cube and
really
try to
brings up-
manage this cube.
It really brings up a lot of philosophical questions about steward bots. If if a tree falls in the woods and no one's there to hear it, does it really make a sound? If a steward bot shoots you and there's no one there to see it, has it really caused you damage?
Yeah, so the reason I'm being very meticulous about only having one cube active here is because if there's a cube on the ground, the stewards will throw it at you. So I just try to use the one to be able to take out two of these guys at once and then just let it try to pick it up on my way through the wave. But also killing these guys sometimes will despawn the cube, so you just have to make a new one. And that's the end of the level.
Nice.
You're not getting away from me, One-Eye!
Ouch!
Oh no.
Alright. So here Otto is having enough and has turned the ship sideways, which means now you can use the swimming pool as a cool parkour ramp, and you got to get to the holo detector before it closes. So this is a very short level, but you just gotta go along this path here, avoid the falling debris, avoid losing speed, and here we go. Oddly enough, this one is not on a timer, so you can just kind of sit here indefinitely with no failure condition. But it's there. And here, you've got Walle trying to hold the holo detector open, there's actually some unused content that we found in the game where the holo detector is a playable character. So we think at some point there was intended to be a level where you were playing as Walle-E trying to hold this thing up. And prevailing theory here is that it got removed from the game because having a level where inevitably you have to die at the end is kind of dark for children. So it just got turned into a cutscene instead.
It's a good cutscene, though.
Yeah. And here we've got Homecoming, which is our last level in this game. Not a whole lot going on here. It's just a standard Eve level, but we're going to try to do Homecoming clip because this is a live stream, might as well. So home clip is a skip where you can go through the floor at the beginning of the level and just kind of follow the path of the level from out of bounds. It doesn't save you more than like a couple of seconds, and if you fail it, sometimes it forces you to restart the level again. But it's a fun meme and it's cool to show off, so we're gonna do it.
We can get it. I think that can be done. Yeah.
Citizens of Earth, by and large, welcome you home. Shop by and large for all your
So here we've got Eve in her last-ditch attempt to get Walle-E fixed. And we're gonna do it with style. So we glide along the floor here, get into that corner. Oh, we might actually pull this off. There we go. Okay, we're out of bounds, and now we just follow the level.
Nice.
So there's a bunch of invisible walls around here that you kind of have to navigate around. So it's not quite... like, it's not as straightforward as just going straight to the level end trigger. So we're not out of the woods yet, but we're pretty much there.
Everyone in chat is sad about the roach. Everyone's sad about Hal.
Oh, it's okay. He's alive. He's Hal's vibing, you know. I forgot that's an actual wall.
Oh no.
Okay, come on. Oh no,
Hey,
we're going
there we go.
backwards. We're going backwards.
Oh no.
Okay. Okay, maybe let us back in. Okay, it's gonna be close. Okay, under the level. Oh no.
Oh.
Okay. And that's it. Okay.
Oh.
We done failed home skip. That's okay.
Oh.
It was fun to try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always fun to see out of bounds.
Chat was all about that. You know, encouraging you throughout the whole thing.
Yeah. All right, here we go. And that's it. That's the end of the last level. So now we just have to wait for the cutscene to finish, and then that's it for the game. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I had a really great time running this for y'all. I had a really great time cracking jokes about the game. It's a really good game. I really enjoy running. I've said this a lot of times, but like, this is unironically one of my favorite games out there, and it's been really, really great for me to be able to share this with you guys.
It was fun to watch.
It's fun to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, so once Walle-E regains his memories here, that's going to be it. Let's see. Just gotta. Okay, here it comes.
Yay!
He's alive!
Yeah.
And they all live happily ever after, and that's it. That's the run.
Nice. GG.
Yay!
Yeah, thank you guys for watching. Huge shout outs to the Walle-E speedrunning Discord for teaching me all these cool tips and tricks that I showed you guys. If you guys want to see more about the game, if you go to speedrun.com/WallePC, that's where this is stored. And from there, there's also links to the console versions of the game as well. Massive shout outs to Sunny also for being willing to put up with all of my nonsense.
Always.
Always. Well, that means a lot to me. And huge thanks to GDQ and to Midnight Vesper for allowing us to be on here and have a good time with y'all.
Oh,
Yeah,
fantastic.
and thank you to Tech for helping me out when my mic exploded, and thank you to chat for abiding that for a moment. I really appreciate it, and to all of our friends who came out to support us in chat. We love you guys.
Oh,
Thank you all so much.
Yeah, that was such a good one. I'm so glad we got to experience all of that. I loved it. Just the nice, good, whole-fashioned feeling about it all. If anyone was interested in following either of y'all in any shape or form, any fashion, where could they go?
Yeah, so for me, I'm on Twitch as Robotic Rocketeer. I think I have links to my other socials on there. And Sunny, what's the best way to follow you?
I actually don't use a whole lot of social media, so I guess just stick around Robot, and I will probably be on his streams at some point.
Yeah. Sunny also is really involved in Blazeball, so there's a few podcasts she's involved in there that you might see her on.
There is. If you watch any of Visage 21's Blazeball streams, I commentate with them sometimes, but otherwise I don't really do any streaming on my own.
Yeah.
Well, thank you both very, very much. Any final thoughts? Any final things you all would like to say?
I hope you all have a by and large day.
Yeah. I also hope you have a by and large day. Yeah. It only takes a moment to I don't know where I was going with that. Yeah. Yeah, you guys have a great night, and I know there's some horror games coming up after this, so I'm looking forward to watching those. I and a lot of my friends are all really big horror game people. I like watching horror games at least, so...
Yeah, I will probably still be in chat after this.
Yeah. Like they said, coming up here at the top of the hour, here in about 10 minutes, is going to be Speedruns from the Crypt with Igdisis as the host. A couple quick announcements before we go ahead and get any further. If you've missed out on this run or the run before with the DuckTales or any runs going on throughout the rest of the week or prior, all of it is going to be out at our GDQ YouTube at youtube.com/GameZoneQuick. While you're out there, if you're watching this actually on YouTube, feel free to check us out over at twitch.tv/GameZoneQuick, where we have all of our live shows, usually starting most nights around 7 p.m. Eastern. Speaking of YouTube, I lost my train of thought there. We do have a new YouTube channel called GDQ Some of Best Segments. It's officially launched. It's a highlight channel with all of our regular videos like we have on our main channel, just with small bits and highlight reels about all of them, including all of the main events and our hotfix shows. And of course, don't forget, right around the corner is Awesome Games Done Quick 2022 Online. The game and volunteer submissions are now open until October 3rd. If you're looking to help with the event in any way, shape, or form, you can just go to gamesdonequick.com. All the information is there, including how to submit. Well, that will do it for this amazing edition of the Bargain Bin. Do keep in mind, Speedruns from the Crypt is coming up here in just a little bit. It's be a great time to get up, get some water, maybe get some food, sit down there and go from the tangent of the beautiful Disney games to the opposite end with horror games.